All right, it is Wednesday, September 4th, the night before the NFL season begins, the moment we've all been waiting for, waiting all summer for this opening night game. I'm going to give you guys my plays. I've already done a more in-depth video where I went through every game on the NFL card, but I just wanted a real quick, not a lot of notes. I just want to give you guys every bet that I've made in preparation for this week one. And there's one 2 unit play, but some of these plays I may upgrade. Make sure to stay tuned on my social media feeds if I do decide to upgrade some of these plays. But let's get straight into it. The Thursday night game, home opener for the season opener for the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Baltimore Ravens. I'm on the Chiefs money line minus 140. Still like the play. Obviously, with the spread sitting at 3, I took the money line to be a little safer. I do think the Ravens regressed. I think people look at the Ravens and think Derrick Henry, and they just assume that the Ravens got better. Obviously, it's a revenge game, but I like Kansas City in this spot. I think they take care of business. Moving on to the Friday game, we got the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles in Brazil. I like the Packers first half plus 110 on the money line. I think Green Bay comes into this game looking to be aggressive, looking to showcase the quarterback that they just made the highest paid player in NFL history in Jordan Love, at least highest paid player going into this season. And the Packers have a tendency to receive the ball, elect to receive the ball on the kickoff. The Eagles, I expect them to defer. So we're probably getting an extra possession in that first half, and I just think the Packers come out the gate swinging. I also like the change that they made on the defensive side with the new coordinator. Really, it's just addition by subtraction, getting the old guy out of there, Joe Barry, I believe his name was. So I like the Packers in this spot. I think that they come out strong early on. Moving on to the Sunday games, the first Sunday game that I added was the Vikings on the money line minus 125. I think Minnesota just causes a matchup nightmare for the Giants. I like the Giants earlier in the summer. I was kind of leaning that way, but the more I think about it, Brian Flores is going to put Daniel Jones through it. The Giants have a bottom 5 offensive line in the league. Um, and Brian Flores is just really creative with his blitz packages. And on the offensive side for the Vikings, KOC is a really good coordinator, play caller for the Vikings on the offensive side. And I think that he can mask some of Darnold's weaknesses. I'm not saying like throughout the course of a whole season, Darnold's going to look amazing, but I think early on, KOC is able to patch up some of the spots where Darnold's a little more vulnerable and make him look competent. I think you get competent quarterback play out of Sam Darnold to start the season. And I think that the Giants aren't going to put up too many points. So I like the Vikings on the road as a short favorite on the money line. Minus 125 is what I got that at. Next play, the Carolina Panthers plus 5. I've talked about this play ad nauseum. I just think that Carolina has improved immensely, and I think that the Saints are a lame duck. I think the Saints are probably what you saw out of them last year, and I think Carolina improved, and that's enough for me to lean Carolina to take Carolina in this spot. Next game, the Raiders and the Chargers under 43. I saw that totals down to 40 and a half. That's why we grab plays early. I can't, in good faith, tell you guys to take the under at this point. Um, 23 to 20, I push, but you guys lose on a score like that. I can't tell you guys in good faith to take the under anymore, but I do lean to the under even at 40 and a half. Maybe if it gets to 41, you could play the under, but at 43, I feel really good about this play, obviously seeing where the market has gone. Next game, I took the Denver Broncos plus 6. This is a game where you have the opportunity to buy one team and have the opportunity to fade another. It's a buy on the Denver Broncos, really on Sean Payton being able to execute as long as he has competent quarterback play. Russell Wilson wasn't that. He wasn't competent quarterback play. Bo Nix seems like, he's an older rookie. And he seems like a guy who's just going to do what Sean Payton tells him. He's going to execute the game plan. I don't think Payton's going to make it too complicated for him. He's going to put him in favorable situations. And on the other side, the Seattle Seahawks, like, I understand people liking them this year because they do have a solid roster. It appears to be a coaching upgrade. But when people talk about the Seahawks, I like almost have to do a double take. My eyes like they get wide because I'm like, are we talking about the same team? This is still Geno Smith at quarterback. You guys know that, right? Like I can't get too high on a team that's led by Geno Smith at the quarterback position. He's just not good enough. And I don't think people really realize like just how bad he is amongst the other quarterbacks in the league. Like Geno Smith does not crack the top 20 quarterbacks in the NFL right now. So with that being said, I like Denver here. I think Seattle could maybe make some noise in other games where you find them as like a short home dog or maybe as a road dog, but favored by this many points against a legendary coach in Sean Payton, I don't trust them to get the job done. I have to fade that. Moving on, the only 2 unit play at the moment, but some of these I may upgrade. I really do think I am going to upgrade some of these, but as of right now, the Washington Commanders plus 3.5 minus 115 is what I got that at. The Commanders at 2 units. This is another game where I'm buying a team, buying Dan Quinn just as a motivator for this team, buying Kingsbury as an OC. Say what you want about him as a head coach, but as an OC, he's a good play caller and play designer. Buying that Jaden Daniels, even as a rookie, is probably the best quarterback play that this team has had in a while and just gives them something to be excited about. And it's a fade on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming off of a good end to the season that they had last year. Everyone in the market having like a favorable idea of them, when in all actuality, that season was probably more of an outlier. And like the earlier, the better when it comes to fading Tampa Bay. Like while there's still this perception that they're like a playoff caliber team, that's when I want to get in and fade them as much as possible. I think Baker losing that OC. Obviously, he's the head coach. Canales at Carolina head coach. Losing him at OC, I just don't know if Baker's going to still be able to get the job done. His wide receivers are very good, but those guys are aging. They've been dealing with injuries the past few seasons. And at head coach, they just don't inspire me much. Last game, Sunday Night Football, the Detroit Lions minus 3.5 hosting the LA Rams. I like the Lions here, and I'm high on the Rams this season, but I do think they regressed on the defensive side. Their defensive coordinator is now the head coach in Atlanta for the Falcons, Raheem Morris, and Aaron Donald obviously retired. Their offensive line is a little banged up. Puka Nakua, little banged up. The Rams have a lot going on right now. This isn't like a real favorable time for them to be playing the Lions. Maybe if they played them at a later point in the year, I might even be convinced to maybe take the Rams. But in this matchup at this stage in the season, this early in the year, I like the Lions. We know how good they are at home. We know how good the quarterback is in a dome setting, and they have a lot to prove this season. And I think that they come out strong. Like there's going to be opportunities to fade the Lions. Obviously, they've been a covering machine, and they're due to probably regress to the mean in that regard. But in this game for the first game of the year, I do think that they get the job done. So those are my plays. I just gave out how many of that? How many of those plays was that? That is 8 plays. Normally I don't even have that many plays per week, but felt really good about this week one to open the year. I'll let you guys know. Like I said, stay tuned. Check out my feed. I'll let you guys know if I upgrade any of these. As of right now, the Commanders are the only 2 unit play, but I do think that's going to change. But as always, thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, peace.